Princess. So now the new trend is that some of these girls are taken to juju, just as you mentioned, they're taken to witch doctors, and they have to make an oath where they swear with themselves or with their family. Now
Yeah.
that you're dealing with these girls, how do you think that this oath affects them in terms of coming out of the situation that they're in?
The oath only affects them when they are afraid of the oath,
Hmm.
which I normally tell them that the oath does not have power if you are not afraid, because fear is the something that kills
Right.
before the sickness. No, so most of them are afraid of the oath, and that is why the thinking comes into them. And when they start thinking, when they started thinking, it can turn to like a trauma, no?
In
It
yeah.
can, it can affect their brain, and they believe that it is the power of the juju. But for me, I don't believe that is the power of the juju. It's the thoughts of
The
the
mindset.
girls that maybe are afraid. If I don't pay, I swear an oath. But those who leave themselves free, the oath does not even attack them. And another thing, we always maybe take the girls to the church and pray together that the power of Jesus Christ is overcoming the power of juju. So
Wow.
some of them now believe in Christianity and now start not to be afraid of this juju.
Wow. Thank you. So, and also, when I read about you a bit, you said your journey began when you were told that there's a prospect in Italy and you want a better life for your children, not knowing that when you got there, it was a totally different question, a totally different situation. And for your case, you flew to London, and then you were, then someone drove you from where you were to Italy. Now,
Yeah.
in today's situation, now some of these women are actually going on foot. So, can you explain to us what that reality is like, depending on because you've dealt with these girls? What's the suffering on the way before they get to Europe?
It's very tough. It's something that we could not imagine. Most of them suffered a lot. They might take 1 month before they arrive in Libya. They pass through desert, and most of the girls died along the desert ways because of lack of water, because of lack of food, because the traffickers did not explain to them how the journey would look like. They said that they gave them some little gari and some water to start with the journey. Along the way, when the food finished, most of them did not have food again, and some people from Libya, most of them stole their money along the way. Some of the girls, they raped them, no? Until when they reached Libya, and most of them reaching Libya, the madam sold them to other women who are madams in Libya who have connection houses, and they need to work in Libya as a prostitute before they now try to transfer them to Italy. So it is a kind of a slave trade,
Slave
no?
trade, right?
Most of them pay two madams in Libya. Maybe the second madam will now transfer them here. Most who are a little bit stubborn now find their way to come to Italy by themselves. So the journey is very, very brutal. It is not an easy journey.
So now, with what you presently do, how do you think that you can begin to help these women? Because I believe that is from the grassroots, meaning from Nigeria. That's where the work begins before these girls even make it out of Nigeria. How do you think you can bring an end, or maybe encourage these women more?
All still based on awareness, no?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not enough. We that are here have to collaborate with our government, our NGOs in Nigeria to set up some kind of maybe equality skill educations, and maybe announce for those who doesn't want to travel. When we give them in the information what is going on along the way, what is going on the sea, because many of them died in the sea by crossing, no? Maybe if we try to make some kind of skill education, maybe provide some kind of, let me say, an edge to them. Most of them will deny not to follow the traffickers, they followed our way.
Right.
And other things we should do is to talk about our own economic development in our country, and maybe free education, because most of their story says that I stopped my education in JS3 because my parents did not have money to pay my school fees. I stopped my education when I finished my SS3. because I couldn't further my education to university level. Okay, if our government declare maybe scholarship for all the states, maybe from primary school to secondary school, all those that can stop their education in primary school and JS3 might finish up their school education, and by the time they are up to 18 years, 20 years, when they finish, they will hear some information, they will have awareness, then they will decide if they can travel or not. Because this group are teenagers, they are not trained, they don't have any decision on their own. I think that is how we can help, not only helping them here in Italy, but even those that are not yet come.
How is the support? How is the connection here between you and the government home? Is it there has been any kind of leeway, being able to speak to any government official regarding this issue?
For this few more years, no, but maybe 2008, 2009, we had this collaboration with NGO coalition, as well as Ministry of Health in Edo State and in Akwa Ibom State. And within those years, we saw that the numbers of victims were reduced. But when we didn't have, because Italy had some crisis, no, they couldn't form an international project, and our country couldn't follow up. So the thing goes down. That is where we had some problem. So now, if there is any other maybe development, we might follow up and join our government to fight the war.
Wow, thank you so much. Alberto, am I pronouncing your name correctly? I'm trying to get a little bit of Italian accent there. So when you started the organization first, before Princess tag along, why did you decide to begin the organization?
Because before, with my other colleague, we worked to support immigrants in the 80s and the 90s. And the first step of the immigration in Europe, in Italy, was Moroccans, men, that all ordinary workers, but the main group was men. In the 90s, we start to see some girls, some women, immigrant women in Italy. That was new. And the girls that we see was that stand in the streets to do prostitution. Was women that are from east of Europe, Albania, Romania, and Nigeria women. Then we start to think that how, before we provide assistance for men, it is the time to provide assistance for women. And we start to organize this kind of service. That the main service, the first service was shelter for these women that run away from the traffickers.
Well, thank you both for joining me today, and it's such a quick interview. I really do appreciate the work you do, and I want to thank you for being a part of this interview. And that's all the questions I have for you. I don't know if you have any questions for me at all.
No question.
No question. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Good work with that. Good job with the work that you do. Take care.
Okay. Ciao.
Bye bye.
Okay.